Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Lights Out. I'm Faisal Khan. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Sam Eggington. Sam, good evening to you, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, Pai. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, thank you for taking your time out to speak to us today. So obviously started the interview by asking you that it was announced during last week via Hennessy Sports social media that you'll take on Carlos Molina for the vacant WBC middleweight title. First of all, Sam, how is training camp going?
It's going good, man. It's been a long one. It's been tough, but it's going well. You know, we're coming to the end now, and it's all just coming together.
Carlos Molina, former world champion, former world title challenger. He's been in the ring with some good fighters. How much do you know about your opponent?
I don't do much on him, mate, if I'm honest. I leave it down to the team. I believe everyone looks great on the internet, so I don't go back and watch reruns or anything like that. I leave it down to the team, and whatever they tell me, I try and do on the night to the best of my ability. And most of the time it's worked out, so that's what I do.
Sam, it's going to be your debut at middleweight. What's the reason that you've decided to move up from super welterweight to middleweight?
It's just an opportunity, mate. It's not the fact that I'm moving up in general. I mean, after this fight, when I win it, if a big offer comes in at 154, then without a doubt, I'll go back down. But it's just an opportunity that I couldn't say no to. The total's too big, the name's too big. So it's just some of that, you just can't say no to.
As you mentioned, the reward if you win this fight is massive. Would you say that if you could get a win and get this belt around your strap, it sort of pushes you more further towards a world title shot?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, anyone that wins the WBC silver, it puts you right there in the rankings, with a top 10 minimum. So yeah, it's a huge win. Not only the belt for me, but Molina's well known, and everyone knows him, for being a good champion. So it's one that I'm up for and one that I'm confident about.
As I mentioned, he's a very experienced fighter, but so are you. You've fought the likes of Ashley Payne, Ted Cheese, Smith, Paulie Malignaggi. Is it fair to say that those fights can play a massive deciding factor not only in this fight, but when you do eventually get towards a world title shot?
Yeah, like I say, they all stand for something, don't they? I mean, no matter how early they go or how easy they look, it's always experience in the bank. So it always means something. So yeah, them tricky fights and tough fights in their own way, they've all played a part for me to get in where I am and where I'm going.
You've achieved good things in the sport so far, Sam. Obviously, former European champion, former British and Commonwealth champion. Just how far would you say you are in terms of challenging for that world title? Because when you think about it, you've done everything in the sport apart from get that crack at world title.
I think this is it. I mean, when I win this bout, this has got to be close, isn't it? I mean, there's not much closer I can get without winning one. You know what I'm saying? So this has got to be close. I mean, after this one, I've got to be pushing for a shot, if not an eliminator of some sort. And I think that's what we'll be doing.
Obviously, there's a few number of defeats on your record, but every time you've had a defeat, you've bounced back in brilliant fashion. Obviously, the win against Ashley Payne, and obviously your last fight as well. A lot of people, there's a lot of haters obviously out there that will tell you, you've had too many defeats, call it a day. But is that what's sort of spurring you on to carry on in your career and get that world title?
Look, I think a lot of people put too much into the O. I mean, obviously it's great. Don't lose if you don't have to. That's great, but not everyone's gonna have a career like that. And the fact that you got young, talented kids just quitting now because they have a loss, against a 50-50 fight early in the career, and they lose and they quit because people put so much into that, unbeaten record thing. Where I never really have. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some, and it won't define you. It pushes you on for the next one, if anything. So yeah, I mean, I understand it. You do get grief for it, but it's like water off a duck's back. Means nothing to me.
There's big fights to be made, not only down at 154, but obviously at at middleweight. If you can get a win against Carlos Molina, you look at the names that you could potentially be fighting, like the Eubank Jr., Liam Williams, Felix Cash. But how do you think you get on against the likes of Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams if you could get?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, Pach, the middleweight thing is an opportunity. You know, I'd have to be offered a serious sum of money or at least, you know, a fight worth having at middleweight for me to get in against, you know, some of the big boys. I mean, like, I saw Felix Cash the other night against Bentley. He looked 2 weights bigger than Bentley. Do you know what I mean? And Bentley's bigger than me. So yeah, I'd have to. Obviously, we'll have to think about it, but depending on the fight that's offered, like I say, this middleweight thing's not concrete. You know, it's just the opportunity that's arisen. So we're gonna take it. And with the opponent, you know, he's fought at welter. You know, as far back as I did, really. You know, he fought Josh Kelly about 5 years ago. So yeah, he's not a huge middle. It's just it all falls into place. Do you know what I mean? He's not a massive middle. You know, if anything, he's a light middle. You know, probably welter. You know, that's blowing up because you know don't want to make the weight. So yeah, it's perfect for me. I don't have to make a super hard weight. So I've got the energy that's paying dividends in training and so on. And I believe on the night that'll give me the extra energy to get rid of him for the first time, in his career.
Sam, I know you're obviously in the middle of babysitting right now, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But one final question: just give us a prediction for this weekend. Derek Chisora versus Joseph Parker.
You know, it's a hard one because, like you said, I think if it goes it's hard because if it goes a distance, I have Parker winning. But again, when he fought Dylan White, although it was a hard fight, they both flagged in that. And we all know that Derek can just go, throw haymakers from start to finish. Again, Derek can put you out, and he's shown that. So it's a hard one to pick, but I want to go with Derek. I want Derek to do it. I think he'll catch him and he'll get him out of there.
I think a lot of people are rooting for Derek this weekend, seeing as he is the British fighter, but it's definitely shaping up to be a good card for Saturday night. Sam, let you carry on with your babysitting. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And hope training camp's going well, and we look forward to watching the fight between yourself and Carlos Molina.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for talking to Lights Out.
Yes.